You are watching Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look now at the news making headlines. First up, the process is still underway to identifying suspected illegal miners' bodies, and a Lokgabeng murder case has been postponed to tomorrow. In the business news, numerous businesses are closing their doors in South Africa. And in the sports news, Amakhosi coach blames fatigue for heavy loss to SuperSport United. We begin here. The Northwest Police said that the process to identifying 93 bodies of suspected illegal miners retrieved from Buffelsfontein Gold Mine Shaft 11 is still well underway. The process comes after conducting of post-mortems on all 93 bodies. Police spokesperson in the Northwest Province, that's Brigadier Sabata Mokhabona, elaborates.
The total breakdown of bodies retrieved is as follows. 9 brought to the surface through a pulley system or rope by committee volunteers between December 2024 and 9 January 2025. 78 brought to the surface between Monday the 13th and Wednesday the 15th of January during the mine rescue operation. 5 suspected illegal miners who died while admitted to hospital between Monday the 20th of January and Wednesday the 12th of February 2025. Of this number, 4 resurfaced at Buffelsfontein Shaft number 11 and 1 at Margaret Shaft. And then also the body that was brought to the surface at Margaret Shaft. In the investigation into the inquest dockets of the 9 initial bodies, 3 were successfully identified and handed to family members, all from Mozambique. As part of investigations, DNA samples were obtained from 78 bodies retrieved during the mine rescue operation. Furthermore, 54 fingerprints were obtained from 78 bodies for comparison. This process resulted in the identification of 10 bodies through previous arrests in the country. The nationalities of the identified deceased are as follows: Mozambique 7, Zimbabwe 1, Lesotho 1, South Africa 1. In an effort to get more identifications, members of the public and the community who do not know where their next of kin are, and they know or suspect that they were working in and around Kuma or Stelfontein as Zamazamas and have not seen or heard from them for some time, were requested to get into contact with the investigation team at Stelfontein Police Station on specific days between the 4th and 14th February 2025. This led to obtaining of 45 control samples. The nationalities of the next of kin from whom samples were taken are as follows: Mozambique 18, Lesotho 6, Zimbabwe 8, South Africa 12, Botswana 1. The working relationship among the above-mentioned countries continues in an attempt to identify the bodies. For enquiries regarding the identification process, Colonel Francois Jacobs can be contacted at 082 373 8216.
In other news, the Lokgabeng Magistrates Court postponed a murder case against a man from Lokgabeng village near Taung to the 20th of February. 22-year-old Simon Molale, who's accused of stabbing and killing his girlfriend, is currently in jail after being denied bail. It is alleged that the accused stabbed the deceased and ran away from the scene when he saw people. In more news, today marks a year since 6-year-old Joshlin Smith vanished from a home in Middleport in Saldanha Bay. Now, the Saldanha Bay community is still holding on to hope that Joshlin will be found alive, despite the Western Cape High Court's ongoing investigation into a kidnapping and a human trafficking case involving her mother and the 2 other accused. In international news now, Pope Francis' deteriorating health has got him worried over the succession battle to his post, prompting him to rush and tie up loose ends. The Vatican on Tuesday said that the 88-year-old pontiff has the onset of double pneumonia, which indicates the worsening condition of his fragile health. The Pope has been suffering from ill health in recent years, including regular flus, back nerve pain, and abdominal hernia that needed surgery back in 2023. Though the Vatican said that the Pope will stay in hospital for as long as necessary, two people familiar with the matter said that he has been suffering from intense pain and privately stated that he might not make it this time. This has led to the pontiff to also speed up the process to appoint a nun, Sister Raffaella Petrini, as the next and first woman governor of the Vatican City, and announced that her term would begin on the 1st of March. Still on the international front now, Brazil's government on Tuesday approved the joining of the OPEC Plus, a group of major oil exporting nations, signaling the country's evolution into a major oil state just 9 months ahead of hosting the United Nations Annual Climate Summit. The National Council for Energy Policy approval came in response to an official invitation in 2023. The group includes the 12 members of the OPEC, the long-standing group set up to coordinate oil production to stabilize markets, plus 10 more significant oil-producing nations, with Russia by far being the largest. Speaking at a OPEC conference in Brazil last year, OPEC SG, that's Haytham Al-Ghais, highlighted the importance of investing in renewables and in oil to ensure that consumer needs are met. Let's take a look.
Assim como o Brasil, gostaria de dizer que os países membros na OPEP estão também investindo em energias renováveis e em petróleo e gás para garantir que as necessidades dos consumidores mundialmente sejam bem atendidas. Ao mesmo tempo, os países da OPEP também estão trabalhando arduamente para melhorar a eficiência, implementar soluções de emissões baixas e mobilizar tecnologias mais limpas como a utilização e armazenamento de captura de carbono, tecnologias de hidrogênio limpo, captura direta de ar e a remoção de dióxido de carbono, tudo isso dentro do conceito de economia circular de carbono.
Moving on to the business news now, in 2024, more than 1,550 companies in South Africa closed their doors as a result of both mandatory and voluntary liquidations. The number, nevertheless, shows a more upbeat and hopeful trend, even though it is still startling for those who have had to endure the previous 4 years of adversity. According to Stats South Africa on liquidations, the country had liquidations 6.4 lower than in 2023. The figure is 19% lower than that in 2022 and 24% lower than in 2020, the year that the COVID-19 pandemic and resultant lockdowns tore through South Africa's economy. Even though it had improved economic growth, it's still expected to remain low and fall well short of the 3% required to significantly alter the trajectory. President Cyril Ramaphosa has set his sight on the higher 3% growth target, citing the public-private partnership and government reforms, while current growth projections for 2025 are pinned at about 1.5%. And that's all from the business news. Your sports news follows next. In soccer news, Kaizer Chiefs coach Nasruddin Nabi admitted that the defeat was deserved, but hinted that fatigue played a part in Tuesday's 4-1 loss to SuperSport United. Chiefs hosted Matsatsanza in the league at the FNB Stadium just 4 days after beating Chippa United 3-0 in the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup at the same venue. Prior to the game against Amakhosi, SuperSport had last played 7 days earlier when they beat Cape Town Spurs 2-1 at home in the same round of the Nedbank Cup. Moving on to rugby news now, Lions strongman Ntlabakanye has said that his forwards will be able to cope with the Bulls intensifying in their upcoming clash with the United Rugby Championships in Pretoria on Saturday. The Bulls recently suffered a surprising defeat to the Sharks despite being strong in the scrum. In contrast, the Lions endured a 4-game losing streak with a win over the Stormers. Now, Ntlabakanye is one of the 8 Lions selected for the Springboks OPEC's alignment camp. He's confident about his team but emphasizes that they will not adopt a defensive mindset. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The team is back again tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.